Alright, DeFranco Nation Movie Club. Let's do it. Let's just do it and get it over with. Let's take a good, long, hard look at John Carpenter's Thing. As far as intros go, that was like the cleanest I could come up with, and I'm amazed I said that with a straight face. Oh, Phil DeFranco Movie Club, you have chosen a horror movie. Thank you. We watched The Thing, the 1982 Thing, the starring Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley, Keith David, writers Bill Lancaster, screenplay John W. Campbell Jr. for the story, and of course directed by one of the masters of horror, John Carpenter. Okay. So The Thing is the story of a bunch of guys living in some observatory station in Antarctica, and they get infiltrated by this alien that imitates other life forms. It begins by imitating a dog, which is why this can be a hard movie to watch for dog lovers. No one wants to believe their dog could be the monster. You know, it's easy to see another person as a monster. But a dog, no. Dogs are always friendly. Dogs are man's best friend. No. The dog was the monster from the beginning. That's one of the best twists about this movie. However, one of the classic twists about this movie is that it preys upon one of the most primal fears in every human being. And that, of course, is the fear of other human beings. And that fear is always very well blown out of proportion by a supernatural situation like an alien that takes over other people, or aliens that take over other people, or a virus that takes over people, or, or body snatchers that snatch people and replace them with other people. One of the things that I love about John Carpenter's direction in this film is the use of silence. There's very, very little music in this film. It's a very minimalist approach to horror movie music. It's just like very simple drum beats or bass beats or just nothing. Whenever there's a transition of time, they do that by just showing a far shot of the camera. It's either day or it's night, and you just hear the wind whistling. If you were stranded in Antarctica for months at a time, you'd probably, go crazy just from listening to the wind whistle all day long, So then it preys on that element too, the idea of what if these people are just going crazy? What if it's just cabin fever? That gets thrown around a lot. Like, hey, maybe they just went nuts from cabin fever. That idea gets thrown around a lot in this film. That if you can't trust other people, can you trust your own mind? All of these are deeply rooted fears that well-made horror movies prey upon very well. Favorite moment in this movie is at the end when there's no one left but the Thing and Kurt Russell, and the Thing bursts out the floor, and it's just this vile, nasty, blood-soaked, snarling beast of a thing. It's splitting open in all different directions, and it's roaring at Kurt Russell. Okay, and Kurt Russell has one of the great movie quotes of all time as a response to this beast, this otherworldly beast growling and snarling and howling at him. He just lights a stick of dynamite and says, "Yeah, fuck you too," and he throws the dynamite. I love that it's "fuck you too," that he's responding to, like he can actually translate the growling. I also love that the movie kind of ends very, very unresolved. It's just because at the end, you find out Keith David's character is still alive, and there's really nothing left for them. They've blown up the entire camp to try and destroy the Thing. However, if the Thing exists on a cellular level, and the cell just needs other cells to imitate, then it could be fairly theorized that maybe the Thing cannot be killed unless you burn every single cell. Which maybe the explosion did, maybe it didn't. Maybe the Thing imitated Keith David's character, maybe it didn't. Maybe they're both human and they're both going to freeze to death. Maybe everyone's dead, maybe the Thing is still alive. It ends in a very unresolved way. Which is why it further preys on the fear of no resolution. I mean, that's something that people are easily afraid of. The idea that it's unresolved, that there's no real conclusion to the plot. You really don't know. Not knowing if something's resolved. Just not knowing, just the unknown in general, is a basic fear among humans. And the ending of this film preys upon that very well, too, because in the end, you don't really know. I mean, but the number one reason to see this movie is, if you love horror films, you have to see this movie. It's one of the classics of horror. It hits all the basic elements of horror. It is very well directed, very good use of isolation, very good use of sound, very good, very well casted, and, what was it? Excellent use of special effects. I believe in the credits it said special makeup effects by Rob Bottin. He did an excellent job crafting all those sculptures of all those hideous things that the thing will imitate, of the tendrils popping out of everything in order to latch on to other life forms and imitate them. I mean, it's like you spend most of this film fearing other people, but when you see what the thing is, you know why you're afraid of it. And it's not just because it can imitate other people, it's because underneath that person is something so inhuman, you just have to be afraid of it. So again, the number one reason to see this film is it's just one of the great classics of horror, and if you love horror at all, you need to check out this film, and you need to check out In the Mouth of Madness, two great films from the same great horror director, John Carpenter. He just does horror like nobody else does. That all said, please click like, subscribe, please leave a comment down below, let me know what you think about my reviews. Please feel free to check out my links down below to my Facebook, my Twitter, my website. And of course, Phil DeFranco Movie Club, thank you for choosing great movies. Keep on choosing great movies, and I'll see you next time on the Phil DeFranco Movie Club.